We have our next session lined up, uh, which is Cloud Post-Production Disney Star Case Study, and we have a illustrious lineup for that. We have Harish Prabhu, founder Post Studio, and we have Mr. Gajendra Tijare, Executive Vice President Disney Star.
Hi, good afternoon and welcome all. My name is Harish Prabhu, founder of Post Studio. I'm here accompanied by Mr. Gajendra Tijare, EVP, Head of Broadcast Technology,
Micah.
uh, Disney Star India. And so we are going to be presenting cloud-based post-production that Disney Star implemented over the last, it's been a last 2 year journey with Disney Star. So we'll be talking about the case study. Uh, so Gajendra, are you, yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready. Whatever, whenever.
So this is going to be a very informal session. So we'll keep it interactive. Uh, we'll keep it interactive and very informal.
Sure.
And so let's begin with the cloud-based journey. So what prompted us to go into the cloud? That's more important. And let's start with the cloud-based journey back in how we started the journey at Disney Star. Is I think that's the story that we should be we should be telling to our audience first. So you want to throw some light on that?
Yeah, so good afternoon. Thank you for attending. We know some people in the audience, so thank you for coming. So, as you know, we are a storytelling company, and just give me a second.
Will start shortly in the conference area in Pavilion 3.
Okay. So we've always been looking for options and ideas, not only for post production but the entire creative value chain.
Setting up is always a challenge. I think any on-prem setups are difficult. So that's why we say move to cloud. It's always easier. That's one of the reasons why.
Okay. So let's start since it's an informal one. So the whole idea was, like I said, we've always been looking for options. Now, if you do the journey of migration to cloud, I think our entire proposition has been to become asset light. We've been looking for opportunities where we didn't want to invest too much in technology, which bound you to a location. We wanted to be agile. All the tech adjectives that you can see, agile, flexible, fungible, all those. But the bigger proposition, I think, for us was talent crowdsourcing. That was a big thing for us because access to content is something that we were really eager, how we could expand that beyond a limitation of a post-production area which you confine people to. We wanted to actually go out in the market and see how we can expand and give our content to people in the remotest part of India who could work magic with it. And what the journey, the idea was there, the vision was there. What really sped up our entire process was COVID. I think at some point, we've got this. At some point, we can say that the pandemic actually expedited our journey to move from an on-prem to a on-cloud. Collaboration has always been key. We always been looking for how do you collaborate better, how do you make your processes efficient. However, I think the limitations that come with on-prem, we've realized that we are using it. It's not that we can completely go without on-prem, but how do we actually start moving on that journey of on-prem to on-cloud in the entire value chain? Which are the silos, which are the pockets that we can choose and start moving towards that? That was our original strategy. We wanted to really explore those ideas, and post-production was a solve that we've been trying to crack on. And I think 2 years back, we launched a new channel, a regional channel, and that's when we got the opportunity to really explore We tried it out, of course. We don't do anything just because it's on paper. We try it out, test it out, and then we see that the results were for everybody to see, and we implemented it. And now the plan is to go across the entire network with that solution.
Yeah, I think Gajendra, we should rewind a little bit to the 2015 when Hotstar, the OTT that launched. Uh, that's when I think uh, the first ever cloud journey started for Disney Star, I believe, right? So I was part of Star back then, and I've been through some of those journeys. So been an insider to that. So I think that's the when your OTT distribution started on cloud. Today, none of the OTT distribution can happen without cloud. So you need for anything to at scale you want to distribute to the consumer level, you need to be on a flexible, elastic workflows. So cloud has been the so that's how Disney Star or any of the broadcasters started moving into the cloud for their distribution purpose. So once the distribution started happening on the on the cloud, uh, the next part of the cycle was how do you make the rest of the content processing part of it before the distribution, where you need to do a lot of the transformation work, transformation process of your content, whether it is your content is produced for broadcast television programming or play out, but how do you make it ready for OTT? How do you make it ready for no break kind of a formats uh, with with multiple ad structuring? So you need to move all of the content processing side of the uh, 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 execution has to happen at scale now. So that was one of the. You want
No,
to touch upon
absolutely. So,
that?
so what happened is, you're absolutely right. What happens is, at the end of the day, you're catering to the end user. End user is your consumer who watches your content. The platform for that traditionally has been linear TV. It's been a B2B where you go through either DTH or cable. Then you have a new platform which came and disrupted the whole market called OTT. We had Hotstar as a platform. The delivery mechanism for that was completely different from what it was. So the journey always is traversing backwards from what the endpoint is towards the processes. So when we realize that, this is how delivery to an OTT platform is, why can't we look at workflows which can actually complement that? And that's when we realize that this is what we need to do, and in piecemeal. So if we look at our digitization journey also from tape to file, that was the last mile where our playout was file based first, and then we moved into everything else as a file based platform. So I think uh, the need shows up when there is a requirement. The solutions come through then. What we've always embarked on is that how do you now now you know that there's a platform here which is OTT. The distribution is largely on cloud. All our applications started moving on cloud. See, cloud also is a very a big term which is loosely used also in many formats. I think you have to really optimize workflows on cloud. Cloud was largely storage. How do you get computing on it? How do you get processes on it? How do you make cloud work for you? There's a very good point I'd like to say. It's an analogy that they say that I work on a computer. It should actually be I let the computer work for me. Whether it's a spreadsheet or whatever, you need to have tools that can optimize your output through a computer. I think that's what cloud is. Cloud is misconstrued by many people as as something that's magic, but you have to make the cloud optimized for you. So I think one thing that we saw is processes. So we became asset light, and over a period of time, we also started showing cost optimization, which was a big ask, right? That is where the entire disruption also happens. So it's a big ask.
So, Gajendra, so do you want to throw a light on what was your experience during the pandemic? How did how did the broadcasters struggle during the pandemic time for the post production and content processing workloads? And what changed during that time? How did you get into the? I mean that was one of the triggers for
Yeah, yeah,
cloud
yeah.
cloud
I
strategy?
think that, like I said, that wasn't even that was something that set the ball rolling for the entire value chain, and it was not limited to post production, Harish. Uh, it was overall, how do you shoot? And if you're shooting in a location which you've created as a bubble, how do you send that content? Do you send it in the traditional way of a SMS card or a hard disk, or now do you upload that content through a P2P link? Where does it land? How do you get access to that? How do you then access that content? How do you then edit it? Once you've edited, how do you then deliver it? So it set off the ball for the entire thing, like let's evaluate every option. I think in that the easy solve, not easy, but the various solves that came out in the industry were collaborative, cloud-based or virtualized ways of editing.
I think the mindset change also happened at that time.
Absolutely. While everybody was very, not, they wanted this to happen, but they were very, they were doubtful of the fact that it could happen. And I think this really sped up the whole process that it can happen. It's not can, it has to happen because that was the only way to survive. So that really set that, that set that entire thing in motion that we have to go on this path.
Yeah. In terms of the speeding up the process, so we all knew by 2020 or 2021 that it is going to be the cloud native future for content creation. And that was in fact set by the Movie Labs 2030 vision. Uh, but that 2030 vision was the 10-year vision that Movie Labs set out. Definitely Gajendra will throw more light on it. But this the pandemic actually sped up the entire 2030 vision to almost realizing that by 2024 we are actually almost using like how the vision has been laid out. I think Gajendra you should talk more about what is Movie Labs, how it was formed, because Disney has been one of the biggest contributor
Yes.
to this vision, and this has been set by the by the five big studios and so on. So you should throw some
Correct,
more
yeah.
light on this.
Yeah. So even before, so in 2018, 2019, we were acquired by Disney. We were earlier erstwhile Fox Television or 20th Century Fox. The vision was at that point also, let's see how we can virtualize networks and how do we move to a cloud basis. So Vision 2030, like you say, is a roadmap that has been designed by the top 5 studios in Hollywood. And I had a chance of meeting the CEO at IBC, and I think that's the need. I told him he has to come down to India and give this entire vision of what we are actually aspiring to do. And we decided that we had to be a part of this because this is the future. You cannot be limited or set boundaries. While there will be, can we have boundaries which are flexible? Can we have boundaries that can be expandable, elastic in nature? How can we have workflows? When I say boundaries, boundaries on workflows, limitations, whether it's to talent, whether it's to access to a machine or an application, access to delivery points, delivery partners. How can we make it much more accessible? And Vision 2030 really works on these 3 principles. Whether it's cloud first, like it's written here, flexible workflows, and security. As we see, as technology has evolved, threat has also evolved, right? So it's like they say, medicine has evolved, but disease has also evolved. This is going to be a cat and mouse. It's always going to be a catch up. The vision set and the security measures given by a cloud first approach actually mitigates a lot of that. And we've been on certain amount of our content has been on cloud for the last 6 years, 7 years. And we have absolutely enjoyed the security parameters around it. We've enjoyed the fact how we give access to that content based on certain privileges and security parameters that we can set. In a earlier way, we had to like physically drop some content off. You don't have to do that. It's now all residing on the cloud. You give them access through a privilege on the cloud itself. You don't have to download anything. We've realized that it's added value in the way we access content to process it also, not only for us, but from a syndication point of view. So we've got many of these things by just aligning to this vision. And I think we've got 6 years away from this vision, but I think in the next 2 or 3, that's the target. We should be there. So 2030 was also accelerated in probably 2020. And I think in the next 2 years, you'll see a large paradigm shift. And if you all go to the second floor, SCAT, you all will see that the platforms have also evolved. The platforms are also no longer traditional. They are also evolving. The entire landscape is changing. So virtualization cloud is the next thing. That is what we should all be embarking on. Harish.
So every manufacturer, vendors are now moving towards this vision. They are contributing to this vision, whether it is the camera manufacturer or the software makers like Adobe's, Avid. Everybody has realized that they have to work towards this vision of cloud native journey. Uh, the first principle of this vision states that everything that you produce will be directly uh, recorded on the cloud. That's the first principle of that. And the second thing that it states is uh, all the media will not go to the application, but application will move to the media. So which means that the media will stay at one place, which is one centralized place of access. Whichever application needs to get access to that media will be closer to that media. So what happens is when you shoot something, you send the content to the studio, which is somewhere you are doing the editing, so you have to send the content to that editing studio. Then you have to do the VFX to some other studio, so you have to send the content to the VFX studio, and so on. So with this cloud native vision of doing everything on cloud, uh, all of the content gets uploaded once to that centralized storage on the cloud, and any access, whether it is a VFX access, whether it is the audio access, or whether the editing person needs to access, everything is given with the application on cloud. And you are controlling your flexible workflows. Software defined workflows is what is
You can
called.
say actually it's kind of a decentralized but centralized workflow.
is,
It's
yes.
one of those ways to say it. But yeah, Hari, so we started adapting and implementing, like it's written in a slide also, on this vision. But it also came after a lot of evaluation. So let me just say it's not that we got our solution one shot. It's actually been a big journey because we evaluated so many products, and we've got excellent partners who we've associated with. I think eventually what suits us best is what we've adapted. When on the playout side, we've adapted a different technology. On post-production, we've got Post Studio, which has got really, of all the products that were available in the market, the best suited one was the product called Post Studio on that front. We are evaluating certain things on the camera to edit kind of a concept, or camera to cloud, and that's our next step. So yeah, this slide actually talks about the backward trajectory of how, this is much more creative as a domain. This is more technology. So we said creative is something that's always going to be dynamic, versatile, changing. What can really improve is this bit. And this is what we targeted as. We are no longer technology oriented. I think all of us at some point are, I like to define it as technocrats. We are all bureaucrats working in a technology field with a hat called business, and we need to figure out how we can optimize workflows. Cost is a big thing for us. How do we optimize this? How do we make the workflow much more efficient, secure? Of course, that's a big thing for us. And then like it's given here, there is a lot of wastage. There were a lot of traditional suboptimal workflows that we looked at. And we've been in the industry for 25 years plus. Many things have changed. You look at a video edit of an influencer on Reels today versus what you see today on our channel. I think there is a huge requirement where we also have to be a little more savvy, little more, faster to adapt to these technologies, to that mindset of how to edit. What tools do you have that you can edit faster? So these are things that we thought that we have to implement if we want to be relevant, if we want to be market leaders. Disney Star in India and APAC probably has been a market leader, not only in content, but also in innovations. We've always been ahead of the curve. We are exploring options and technologies that can keep us ahead, keep us as leaders. And for that, I think we have been thankful, we've been blessed that we've got great partners and we continue to have great partners, great solutions. But the vision is in motion already. And I think, Harish, in this probably by 2026, I would say in the next 2 years, we would be very close to a 2030 goal of achieving that completely.
Yeah. So we have identifying the pain point was the first part of the journey. Once you identify the pain points, then you know exactly what to solve for. And because there was all of these, as Rajendra mentioned, these were the pain point. One of the things that security point that I would like to mention is in the on-premise world of security management, it's a human first approach. It's always the trust-based approach. There is always a legal contract done, and there are, so it's technology takes the secondary kind of a step, I would say. But the first thing is it's always the human who's been made responsible to take care of that security thing. But when it comes to the cloud, though everybody questions about cloud security and so on, there are so many better technology levers out there on to implement when you are doing the cloud security wall gardening of your content, which Disney has laid out a great security protocol in terms of this thing, and the process that some of the partners like we as Post Studio, we had to go through a certain process with Disney at the global level to get that security controls approved by the global content security team and so on. It has happened at both at the local level as well as the global level,
Yeah.
right? So that's been one of the levers for us to that has given us the confidence to go and implement such workflows in a more flexible way. And one of
So
the
what you are
complex
trying to say, Harish, is, see, content security, irrespective of on-prem on cloud, is imperative. It's the most important aspect. It just becomes, so you take anybody who manages content security with all the threat and the evolution of so-called threats. A content security head would be very happy to work with a cloud-based virtualized environment to create that secure environment rather than a on-prem, because he has, like you said, many levers. This has been always a point of big concern for us. It just becomes a lot more manageable with a virtualized network, and that's what our head of content security is very happy, because he ticks box on all the, checks all the boxes that are there required from this point of view when it becomes accessible from anywhere in the world. He doesn't have to be limited to one location, whether it's physical or whatever. Here, everything is at the touch of a button on one
your
screen.
content is getting produced at multiple production
Absolutely,
houses, at so many different post-production studios across the cities and different parts of India. So making sure that common security protocol, implementing it, making sure that the implementation has gone is done in a appropriate manner, and constantly monitoring it of the maintenance of it, that becomes challenge if you are doing it on-prem. And with having
Absolutely.
the approach of the cloud has been that, okay, you can monitor everything centrally now to ensure that everything is intact as per your original framework that you have defined.
Correct, absolutely.
So this is a slide that talks about how we achieved it, and this is something that Gajendra, you can throw a light on it. Probably I can explain more on how we implemented this vision of cloud native post production.
So you can elaborate much more, but I'll just give you the entire gist of the entire thing. The idea was, one was access, collaboration, security. The thing was, like you said, COVID accelerated a lot of these processes while we were evaluating many of these solutions in the market. I think the deployment and the true test came when we launched a regional channel, which was located in a different region, but the entire operation happened from another region. We realized that you can go to a market where there's not enough talent. You can launch there, but necessarily the production doesn't have to happen in that location. It can happen anywhere in the world. And when we chose Post Studio, I think there was a certain requirement we had. The rule that we usually follow is think global, apply local. And when I say local, then go hyper local. The way Disney Star manages its entire workflow is very, very complicated. It's dynamic, but it's complicated in a way because there are many aspects of creative inputs that are needed and that needs to be taken care of. Uh, the solution offered gave us that that extra edge that we needed. The fact of the matter that you being a part of the system in your previous avatar helped because you understood the requirement much more than what a partner or anybody else could understand from that. So that was an additional advantage, and you knew what the pain points were. So I think our approach was also a better understanding of what our pain points were. How you structured that came across much more, prominently than what others would have given. Wow, something has come out here.
Yeah.
Some,
So Post Studio is the platform that's it's a end-to-end cloud-based post-production capability that is available. It's a one-click platform. It's a SaaS. So what we offer to our users is the capability to work on any of the post-production processes using just by having a capability on a browser. So if you are able to run your Chrome browser, you should be able to run any post-production processes. You don't need a hardware at your end. You don't need any kind of a software at your end. So everything is, so you bring your content, you bring your talent, and rest is on us. That's what's the offering of Post Studio. So what you get on Post Studio is one major centralized storage running on the cloud, and that takes care of it. It comes with multiple flavors of slicing into different workspaces, so that your teams structures can be made into a different virtual separation and so on. So you have the flexibility to work with a thing, so that comes into our productivity layer of it. So centralized storage is something that promises the high performance workloads for your even with the raw file. So many of them get surprised when I talk about cloud post production, and the first question that comes to them is, are you guys doing this on proxy?
same
Yes.
question we asked, and then yeah.
So that's something that Disney also was. Is it something that we want? Should we do it in proxy? Is that the right way to do it? So the answer was no. We will do it on RAW. We will do it on the high-res format. But wherever there is, it's important to do things in a most optimal way, most cost-effective way than the only. This is my only way to do it. So we implemented in the process where wherever there is a proxy editing is required, it is enabled the way it is. It is in a proxy way. But where it is required for you to access the raw files, for example, the color grading process, the mastering process, the finishing process, those require you to work on high-res raw file access and working on the high fidelity monitoring and so on, right? So that's something is enabled on the platform to work natively, like how. So there is no difference between for an editor to who is used to a 444 signal, 8-bit, 10-bit, 12-bit kind of a signal processing and monitoring. So
And
those
format
things are
also, right?
formats as well. So all of these are available to you natively on cloud now. So that's the first layer of this thing which the central storage takes care of to manage. Then comes our application marketplace. So we offer all of the applications which are used by the which are favorite for the creation community. Editors love to work on Premiere Pro or Avid or DaVinci and so on. Colorists prefer to work on the DaVinci Studios and so on. The graphic artists, if you talk to them, they would prefer a Cinema 4D or a Unreal Engine. Blender is the new flavor. And we offer all of these different applications as marketplace on a pay as you go kind of a model. So that's the business model that we have innovated, where you access all of these things in a very pay as you go kind of a model, which helps you in optimally using what you want to work on, and that gives you the flexibility to work on the processes as per your project requirement, which in turn becomes very efficient and cost effective. The third layer that we are talking about is the workflow and the productivity seat, because that's something that has to manage the rest of the operations well. We have we have the team management layer, we have the project management layer, we have the analytics layer to understand how your project is shaping, how much. So you have started the project now. When does it have to sing? Who is getting the access? How are you controlling that? All of that comes under the productivity layer suite that we have built. Once your edit is over, how do you make sure that the review is done? Who accesses it? How do you so one of the things that we have done is the live collaboration. Live collaboration is when the editor is working, he wants to share his timeline with his director, who could be in the traditional scenario. He will sit with the editor next to his chair and giving the feedback and so on. Here we have implemented a live collaboration where he might be miles apart, and he can just share the screen and access the timeline, talk on the audio talkback, and give all the feedback, and even control the timeline while the editor is working on it. So that's the kind of additional innovation that we have done to meet the requirement of the community.
Harish,
While
you would
we
like
were
to open the panel to the questions for the delegates? Would you like
Sure.
some questions to be asked?
Yeah, I mean, we'll just finish this last this thing. So, camera to edit is something that we innovated very recently when we saw that there is a need for us to connect all of this post-production process to the production environment. So we are connecting all of the we have worked very closely with the Sony cameras, and we have integrated with FX9, FX6, Buranos of the thing. So where anything that you are recording on set is instantaneously available on the platform on Post Studio, where the editor can quickly start his edit while it is being rolled on the sets. So these are some of the things that we have innovated on the platform. So this has helped Disney Star to make the production turnaround times better and so on.
Correct. That's right. So as we speak, we are doing this right now. We've launched this. We piloted it rather. That's what we can say. And I think, Harish, I think we need to close. So we just need to.
So we will open the forum for the Q&A.
Yeah,
Is there
we
any-
have
any
time
question?
for a couple of questions
Yeah.
as we are running out of time now.
Sure.
So anybody in the audience has a question? Mike.
So if you don't have any questions, you can reach out to Harish and he can ask you.
one question here, then we will wind up the session, please.
Hello, I'm Professor Shiv Kadam from MGM University.
Okay, hi.
Like we have engineering college also, and an IT college also, and a film school also, and so many things. So there are people coming from the industry, and they are training our students according to their requirement. So do you have any such opportunity for our students where, like we are an independent university, we can optimize our program according to your need, and based on that, we can, as you rightly asked, that from where to get the
Talent.
trained and talented manpower which is required for your product.
Can you just go back one slide, please? I'll take that answer. This is your only requirement, sir. Today, I think in any institute, I think I was talking to Chaitanya from Whistling Goods also yesterday. The question was, how much investment do you want to make? You just need an internet browser today, and you need internet connectivity, and you need a browser. Your entire thing depends from a learning point of view. Till you progress to a higher end of editing, it's a gradual thing, not like what it was one size fits all earlier. I think it's a gradual thing right now. It's easy access for you. I would say you can speak to Harish and take advantage of it, because if you train people, you understand the concept, because the tools are now available. You don't need to buy them perpetually or subscribe them. You pay per use. That's a very, very good model for us also, because in a 24-hour cycle, your peak is only for 7, 8, but we pay for 24. So now you pay only for what it is. So even for training or for production, you actually have a pay per use model that really works in your favor. So I would say speak to Post Studio team and you can like get that done. Sorry.
Okay,
you
we'll
have-
take
Hello,
one
sir.
last question.
Yes,
before we
sorry.
I'm Jamshid.
Hi, Jamshid.
I'm coming from Kerala. So actually, I've been following Movie Labs from 2019,
Okay.
and we have built one application for production for the creative people. Just like you said that you have started with post production. We have piloted in Malayalam films and one web series. Almost 8 projects are over.
Oh, nice.
We haven't officially launched it. It's available in Play Store and App Store.
Okay.
I just wanted to show you that thing. The application is called Behind the Scene. That is particularly for creative people. For
Okay.
the streamlining of the production with the collaboration, task management, everything is included. From pre-production to the requirement needed in the post-production. We have been giving the camera reports to the editors from the production, not in the
So
application.
do you have a question, or you can connect
No,
with
I
them
just
offline?
wanted to
So you
show
can
them
connect-
the
you can
application.
connect with them
Yes,
offline
yes,
for
sure.
that.
You can
Thank
connect
you.
with us.
Yes, thank
Anytime and we'll help
Thank you, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, Harish. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Gajendra, for this
Thank you, Manoj.
fantastic
Thank you,
session.
everyone. Thank you.
I would request you all to accept a small token of appreciation from our end. If you all could come down, please.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.